Hi students, I think you are safe and fine following the video classes very well. So you know that we are discussing the topic of rights and duties. In our last class we have discussed about the safeguards of rights and first part of the human rights. You know that generally human rights are basic rights for the evolution of the self-respects of human beings, and these human rights are also applied to every person without any discrimination based on language, caste, region and religion also. These human rights evolved because of eruption or prevailing of few revolutions throughout the world. As we discussed, French Revolution and Russian Revolution, American Revolution, these are the revolutions turned out to the man towards to the aspects and claims of the rights to remove the inequalities among the people of the world. At the same time, few constitutions like England Magna Carta, that is like a Bible, it provided so many ideal issues to the people of world. So these are the basic aspects, contents which provide the rights, especially human rights to the people of our country and to other world also. So many treaties occurred, so many agreements also done. The last phase of the human rights is the evolution of human rights in a with a basic structure in an appropriate form. As they are important, the United Nations organization also given recognition to human rights, and the day on which they are recognized by the UNO and they are coming to force throughout the world, that day is nothing but called as the Human Rights Day. That is December 10, 1948 is generally celebrated as the Human Rights Day throughout of the world also. These human rights are basically social rights, cultural rights, civil rights, economic rights. These are the basic classification. You know that generally civil rights already we discussed, that is the right to life, right to property, right to family, right to contract with other persons for the business purpose. All these comes under the aspect of the civil rights. Economic rights are adequate wages to the people, right to work, equal pay for equal work and compensation during the working hours if anything is happened to a labor or a worker or an official person. These are comes under the economic rights. Like that, social rights are there. Education, right to education, right to health. These are considered as the social rights because these rights develops the socialistic development aspect of human beings. And next one, cultural rights, preservation of arts, protection of culture, all these comes under the cultural rights. This is the basic classification or types of human rights. So after learning, understanding the basic concept of human rights, now we have to turn towards to our country in respect of human rights. You know that India is one of the largest democratic countries in the world. So that India is also ratified the agreement or convention of UNO. Since 1948, India is also adopted implementing the human rights in our country also. For that purpose, for that implementation, whenever our constitution came into force since 1950, our constitution makers have incorporated few fundamental rights under the articles 19 to 28 in our country. Those fundamental rights are consonants according to the human rights, so that indirectly or automatically in our country also these human rights are following in the name of the fundamental rights. They are inscribed in our part 3 of our constitution. In second year you are going to learn more about the aspects of constitution, what is article and other things very well. Just you limit these words up to this extent only here, but try to understand the articles which are in consonance the human rights. Presently we may call them as the fundamental rights of human beings. Few of fundamental rights here they have been given. The first one, Article 19, is closely related to the core freedoms. Core means important freedoms provided to the human beings, like that of occupation, any legal occupation that is legally recognized, the individual can adopt. The individual can settle anywhere in India. The individual can form unions, can take assemblies or meetings peacefully without disturbing or distorting the social structure in the country. Not only that, he can be provided with the liberty. He can express his thoughts, he can go for beliefs, faiths, what he is there, he can express without any fear or favor. Such type of freedoms which are very important to a common man or an individual are inserted in Article 3, so that only these are considered as the core freedoms of an individual. And Article 20 is related to the protection to the personal life. That is, whenever any breach of law is occurred or breakup of law is occurred, the person cannot be treated as he has done crime and he never be punished. That is to be observed and viewed whether actually the breach of law or breakup of law is done by him or not, until the person may not be punished or he may not be forced to or compelled to provide an evidence for that aspect, and never him forced never him give the higher punishments more to the crime. In this way, whatever the due process of law existing in the time, apart from the due process of law, protection to be provided to the personal life of an individual. And the next one, right to life, very important one. No person should create any obstacle in the aspect of life of an other individual, so that every person can sustain, able to spend his life happily without any obstacles on this earth. And Article 22 is arbitrary arrest and custody. You know that some quite difference is there between arrest and custody. So try to understand it very well. So no one being arrested by the police without informing the person what crime he has been done. This is the aspect and protection of the arrest. The police being informed on what grounds you are going to be arrested. That is the protection from arrest. And taking into the custody, this is also, that means putting into the jail and taking the trial criminal for the trial of suspicion. These are comes under the aspect of the custody. So without putting before a judge within 24 hours of after arrest, they may not to take the suspected criminal into the custody. These are the protections from the arrest and custody of a suspected criminal, convicted criminal. That means just he has been rumored, the crime is not proved. So we are terming as like that of suspected. That means doubtful. And the next one is Article 23. This is related to the bonded labor. You know that in our olden days, the labor is going to owe all his life towards his master from the life born time to the death time. So that is one of the inhumanity condition, so that as soon as we implemented our constitution, such type of slaves, bonded labor, serfism was totally abolished or cancelled. And the next aspect is the human trafficking. Human trafficking. Trafficking means transfer of the people. That means no one can be transferred illegally or force him to involve in any work without any intimation or by not knowing the intention of that particular person. That is the basic aspect of the human trafficking. For example, during British period, Britishers used to transfer our labor forcefully for their benefits and to participate in the wars. So such type of illegal trafficking is also there after Britishers also somewhere. Now we can see in our India also, so that is inhumanistic nature, so that the people, to serve the rights of the people, that has been totally banned or cancelled. It is illegal under the freedoms of Article 23. And the next article 24 is going to describe about the child labor. Who is a child or who may be called as a child? In our constitution there is a definition is that the individual person who is below the age of 14 years generally considered as a child, so that such 14 years below child never be make work in any dangerous hazardous factories, or they may not be not at all employed in the work also. That is the basic aspect of the child labor. Now child labor is banned in our country. And article 25 to 28 are very important. Those transformed our country into a secular country. These are related to about the right to religion. According to these articles, the individual can adopt any religion according to his choice. He can propagate any religion. He can profess or enjoy any religion as per his choice. This is a lengthy one for our time being purpose, and for according to your syllabus we restrict this article to this limit only. In your higher classes, that means in your second class, you are going to second year, you are going to learn more about this right to religion. These are the freedoms or fundamental rights are the human rights provided to the individual through our constitution, make them up guaranteed for the personality development and protection of human beings. Not only that, during in the year 1993, our parliament is also made one act, that is the Preservation of Human Rights Act 1993. Preservation of Human Rights Act 1993. According to this act, in our country there were constituted the human rights commissions also. At central level, National Human Rights Commission. At the state level, there is the State Human Rights Commission. This is the responsibility of these commissions to go through the violations of the human rights. If any is going to put an application or anyone's rights are encroached by the taken away by the states and other public authorities also. This is all about the topic of human rights. So listen it carefully once and try to understand it. Don't go in depth, as I told you. All these aspects, articles you are going to learn again in your second year under the topic of fundamental rights. So don't get frustrated if you are not be able to understand also. Just try to listen, try to make a overview and you leave it. If any problem is there, just post it through the WhatsApp. I will clarify your doubts. And another very small topic is there, that is the duty. As already while we are starting this chapter, we discussed the aspect of duty also. What is duty? Duties are nothing but responsibilities or obligations what one person has to do towards other individuals or other persons, towards to society, towards to state, those are nothing but calling as the duty. So, in our civics terminology, we may call it as the what is one bound to do, compulsory to do. That responsibility is nothing but calling as the duties, like payment of taxes, obeying the laws, and like that of assisting the officials in the administration, cooperation of the government in the implementation of the laws, all are these generally considered as the duties. Generally, whenever you follow your duty, automatically rights you will avail a chance to utilize your rights. So that only duties are before, rights are after. That way we may say that duty precedes right. For example, when you complete your homework, completion of homework is your duty, that is the duty. When you complete it, you will have a chance to go out and play a cricket, that is your right. In this way, duties are first, rights comes afterward. And duties are also generally classified into two types: moral duties and legal duties. Moral duties are based on moral code. They are not upheld by the states or government. There is no punishment whenever anyone is not following or not performing the moral duties. They are most extensively depends upon the customs, traditions, conventions of the society. For example, your neighbor is sick, it is your duty to help him or take him to hospital. If you perform the duty, you become a good neighbor. If you may not perform also, no one can punish you, but all thought that you are a foolish neighbor, you are a useless neighbor. In this way, moral duties are basically on moral code. Whereas legal duties, these are legally approved, upheld by the state. They must and should be followed by every person in the country. Otherwise, there leads to a punishment also. As we said that pay taxes, income taxes according to the law, for whom it is applicable, they have to pay. If such taxes are not paid, like that water taxes, current taxes, which are not paid, you are going to punish according to the law. For example, like that, whenever red light is there, you have to stop. This is your duty. If you jumped the red light, you are going to be punished according to the law. So that everyone should obey the laws also. In legal duties, two types are there: positive duty, negative duty. If you perform a duty which strengthens the society, that is the positive duty. Payment of taxes, obey the law, ready for defense. These strengthen your society structure, your country structure. So that only they are termed as the positive duties. Whereas which are already prohibited by the country, if you perform the duties, those are called as the negative duties. They never strengthen the society. Payment of taxes is positive, not payment of taxes is negative. Obey the law is positive, not obeying the law is negative. In this way, there is a slight distinction is there between the positive duties and negative duties. So, this is all about the aspects of duties and human rights. So, with this today's class is concluded. Tomorrow we will go for another concept in this chapter only. Try to listen this video twice and thrice. If any doubts are there, just post me through WhatsApp. I am going to clarify your doubts as early as possible. Okay, thank you. Take care. Bye bye.